Okay, good morning, everybody. Are the females in our company more learning-based than the males? Is that what it is?
It's because men don't like the direction.
Wow. Well, let me just say, you all, no, I think she's onto it. You all are going to be so much more efficient after this class that you're going to run circles around the men in the office, okay? Which you're doing already, but I'm very, very pleased you guys are here. I think you're going to find, I'm going to try to do this in about an hour. I think you're going to find it to be an extremely valuable use of your time. I have personally been to many ZipForm and DocuSign classes. We've had several offered in this room within the last year. I took a 3-hour ZipForm MCE class a couple months ago. So I've been exposed to all the training on these tools, and I have always left a little dissatisfied. It did not answer the actual street-level questions that I had about ZipForm and DocuSign. So I have muddled my way through and gotten to a place where I feel like I can use these tools very efficiently and effectively. That doesn't mean I'm the expert on them. I don't know everything. I'm probably not exploiting their potential to its fullest. However, I have learned how to make them work for me very efficiently. And so that's what I'm going to share with you. And recognizing that I am a learner, as we go through this, if some of you who have a little more experience with it say, oh, but Frank, there's a better way, I want to hear that, okay? I've already revised the New Agent Essentials list this morning as the result of some input, and I spent about 2 hours on it last night, updating it. And this is a document that I've been working on for a year. It gets updated constantly. So anyways, we're all in learning mode. So if you have your computer, go ahead and log into ZipForm. And if you don't know how to do that, then what I recommend is going through the TAR site, texasrealestate.com, I believe it is. And then there's a link right on that page once you log in to ZipForm. Okay? All right.
Okay, Frank, I have a question.
Yes, Judy.
Okay, I have my iPad here, and I want to get into Texas Realtors.
Yes.
Where do I go? I know that sounds stupid.
Oh, okay, well, you probably have Safari as your browser,
Safari?
I'm guessing. So is your question how to get to the internet?
Yes. Yes.
We brought Amy, our technical iPad specialist, here today.
Don't ever say that. Yeah, what's your address?
And then just click here and type in. The one with no computer, right?
You brought your knowledge. Okay.
Is it my misunderstanding that this doesn't work well on
Work well on what?
Explorer? For some reason I had to go to Google.
Okay, so I'm using Explorer, and I'm not having any difficulties. But at the same time, I do have 2 or 3 browsers loaded. And if I ever get stuck on one, I hop over to another, and sometimes that solves the problem. I've actually had more difficulties with Chrome than with Explorer. Yes, and
Maybe I should. So is it easy, or is it easy enough? Because I know I had Internet Explorer problems where I bought this computer. Now
Yes.
it's better, so.
yeah, just sometimes there's no rhyme or reason, just switch. and some programs will respond better.
Today or
Yeah, today or tomorrow. Okay, so I want to start.
Hold on, she's not connected to that. Is there a Wi-Fi code or something that she needs to?
There is. It's on my phone, which is on my desk. Who knows the Wi-Fi code or's got it written down?
it's on the inside of my.
I should have put that on the New Agent Essentials list. Yes, what's going on with that? Not even running the hot lights.
One is setting. The Wi-Fi's not connected, so I'm just going to try to connect it, but it's going to ask to join. We have a password for this place. Give them a password and then
Did somebody get us a Wi-Fi code? Okay. I shall go get my phone. You have it?
I have it, but it's in my office.
Oh, well, you just gonna grab it? That'll be quicker than me getting to mine. Oh, Stacy's got it. Okay.
She's got it.
Right over your shoulder. Okay, so while Judy's getting online, let me just call your attention to this document that each of you got a copy of, the new agent essentials list. I'll bet you in the last 2 weeks, I've had half a dozen phone calls or questions about issues that are answered on this form, and I'm always happy to answer the question. That's not an issue, but sometimes if I'm not immediately available, you're robbing yourself of the answer by not consulting this document first, okay? I do constantly update it. Anytime that you have a question or you want an updated copy, let me know. But it starts with all the basic contacts right on the front. Everybody that you need plugged into your phone. Tempo, Fusion, Supra hotlines. If you get stuck on a porch at 8 o'clock at night and can't get in, who you gonna call? I probably can't help you. Supra can, okay? So get all these numbers plugged in. The internet sources should all be bookmarks on your computer. That's the next section. And then you're going to get into some buyer recommendations, okay? And then sellers, and then landlords and tenants. And again, 98% of the issues that you're going to have in your real estate career, you will find the source of the answer in this document, okay? Yes, I'd be happy to email it. Yes, okay. So I'm going to send it to Marcia. If anybody else wants it, since you're online, just shoot me an email. Said, hey, send me that document electronically. Okay? Yeah, this one. You could scan it to yourself. You could do that. But I do update it constantly, so it's not a bad idea to check periodically. Okay? So let's go to ZipForm. And what we're going to do is start in templates. My recommendation is that all of you should have 4 basic templates. Buyer template, listing template, you can call it seller template if you want to, and then lease listing and lease tenant. So this gives you your document lists for either side of the transaction for a purchase or a lease. Okay? How many of y'all have done that already? Okay, most of you have not. Okay, that's fabulous. You're going to get so much out of this class. So let's go ahead and get started. So go to templates, and I'm just going to click on new. I'm going to pretend that I haven't done this before. Okay, see the new button right there, create new. So click on that. Now I can name this template. This is not a transaction we're doing. The template is just going to give us all the documents that we're going to use on every or most transactions. So I'm going to call this template my test template, okay? And do whichever one you don't have. If you don't have one up there, do the buyer's template, okay? Yeah, so if you don't have one, you write in buyers or buyer. And then I'm not applying a template to this because I'm creating it right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Save. And what I'll do is I'll build a buyer template for you.
Do we want to put purchase, or does it matter the type of template?
Well, it does.
It has listing, purchase, lease, so we want to select the purchase for buyers?
Well, have you built your templates?
No.
Then don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't apply a template yet.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I understand your question now. So let me go back again. Under New, it asks you to select template type, listing, purchase, or lease. So yes, select the appropriate one.
Okay.
Yes, Maria.
I have a lot of templates in here. Some are valid that need updating,
Yes.
and some are wrong,
Yes.
because it's been a trial and error.
Sure.
over the last-
You want to get rid of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Please, how'd you know?
Hover. I've done it. Hover in the upper right-hand corner of the template that you want to delete. Hit the drop-down arrow, and you'll see that among menu options, one of them is Delete. By the way, that's exactly how you delete a transaction too.
Which is scary, don't do that.
Yeah.
Unadvisedly.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Okay, but that's how you can get rid of a template. That's what I'm going to do after this class with this test
I'm
template.
gonna go right back to template.
Now, since by default this test template selected listing, I'm going to build a listing template instead of a buyer template, okay? Everybody with me?
Right hand up, right hand.
Okay, no. If you're, you know what, let me go back. I'll start a test for buyers, okay? I want to make this as simple as possible, so if I get complicated, you tell me. So I'm going to start a new template, and this time I'm going to call it test buyer, and I'm going to select purchase, okay? All right, so now we're all on the same page? So now we're going to start building it. This is our blank buyer template. And I'm going to suggest that you look at your new agent essentials list, because everything that we need to put in this template is on here. Okay? Are you all with me? We're on page 2, top of page 2 on the new agent essentials list. Yes,
I
Maria?
had to go all the way back. So would you point to me where I'm supposed to hover?
Yes, just let me go back here. By the way, don't hit the back button at the top of your screen to navigate in ZipForm. Oh my. Well, that rivals my wife's sneeze right there. That's a good one. You see the back button right here? That's the one that you use to navigate ZipForms. If you hit the top one, it'll kick you out. Okay? So here we are, Maria. If you hover in the upper right-hand corner of a template.
Okay, I have it in a different format.
Okay. Well, I have the right format. I don't. Okay. Okay, so I'm going back into my test buyer template, and we're going to build this thing. So first of all, we're going to start adding our documents, okay? And let's just work right down the list. You'll see the first one is called cover sheet. So the way to find that is you come up here and search form name or description and just type in cover. You don't ever type in the full name of the document to find it, because you're going to make a typo or they're going to have changed the name. You're going to make life difficult. Just find the most unique name in the document title, or if you know the document number, just put that in and nothing more. Less is going to work more in this search results. Now you'll see it's not coming up with anything. That's because by default it goes to HAR. So what I want you to do almost every time, you're going to have to hit the select library button, drop down, that's what I'm doing, and select all. Okay? And now look, I've got these choices. It turns out that the cover sheet is a TREC document. That's why it didn't show up in the HAR documents. So to select it, I just go down. Now if I'm not sure that's it, there's a drop-down menu at the end of it. I can hit that drop-down menu and look at the options. I can print a sample of it if I want to read it. I can print a blank, no information in it. I can preview the form and see, is that the one I want, or close it. In this case, I'm going to select Add Form. And I can do that through the drop-down menu, or I could just double-click on the document title, and either way it's going to add it to my template. And I know I did it successfully because now it's there. There was nothing there before, and now there is. Now, before we're done, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the magic of the cover sheet. And I guarantee you, you're going to love it. It's going to be your new best friend. Okay? But we've added it first. So the second one is IABS. So let's just come up here again in the document search window. I've given you the number for it. It's 2501. So let's just type that in. See what comes up. Information about brokerage services, there it is, 2501A. So I'm just going to double click it, and we've added it. Okay, let's just keep going down. Everybody good with that? Following along? Let's do the next one. The HOA form. It's a TAR 1922. Let's search on 1922. We have 4 choices, A, B, C, D. Select A, unless somebody knows better. I've looked at all of them. I can't tell them apart. I have no idea. I think the A is for Atlanta, so just choose that one. That is on my list. There are 2 or 3 documents that have multiple forms, and I open them all and look at them, and I can't tell them apart. So, but for now, I'm just going with A. Okay, let's put in the 1501. Yes.
For the IEBS, is it A or B?
A. Don't ask me why. Okay, we got the 1501 in, the buyer rep agreement. Now we're going to put in the offer contract, which is a TAR 1901. There it is. Oh, that came up third-party financing. Did I read that?
You put them both on the same line.
Oh, I sure did. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. So we do want the 1901.
But first you want 1601.
We also want 1601, and the order does not matter. Yeah, thank you. I will correct that. And now we need the broker notice to buyer tenant, which is a HAR 410. So I'm just going to put in 410. There it is. All right. And now the general information and notice to a buyer, which is a 1506. Are you all enjoying this as much as I am?
Trying to keep up.
Yes, Maria.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm trying to edit what's already there.
Yes.
We have all of the basics in there.
Yes.
We have a bunch of new forms.
Okay, are you talking about promulgated forms or our office forms? I'll get to that. We're just going to get in the promulgated first. Okay?
So if I need, does this update the form from Trek, what Trek is put in?
Yes. The beauty of using a template as opposed to adding a document from your hard drive is if you go through ZipForm, every time they update the form, it automatically updates into your template. Okay? So the only thing you'll have to worry about, do I have the current form, is if it's an office promulgated form. Okay? And then you can upload that from Backagent. But typically if we update that, there's going to be lots of bells and whistles, and we're going to say update, update, update. Okay? Doesn't happen very often. So the last one we need to get in there is the 1925, the buyer walkthrough and acceptance.
Frank, how do we change from icons to list form like you have?
Let me show that to you in just a moment. Okay? Oops, what did I just hit? I think I broke it. There we go. 1925. All right, we recovered. Buyer walkthrough. Okay, so you are asking about the format of the view on the screen, Marcia? Is that correct?
To get to the list
Rather than pictures?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking for it.
Get rid of the all forms.
I think it's under, yeah, let me get rid of that. Look under Organize. See this right here?
Yes.
Over here? This gives you your different views. You can, let me just hit that, I'll show you what you mean. See that? Or you can just do it like that. So just whatever floats your boat. Yes?
You don't add your disclosure of the residential service?
The residential service agreement, is that not on here?
Disclosure, yeah,
It should be.
relationship with service.
Yes. So we're going to add one. We've just already improved this again. So we'll go back to forms. And I'm going to encourage you just to type in the word, what do we have? I have it on the seller list, so let me give you the number. It's called an RSC1. Do you have another number on it?
Oh, no, that's.
Okay, so just type in a
It says,
residential.
you're right, RSC 1,
Will it come up as RSC1?
RSC-1.
And all. And
That's the dash.
the dash is important?
I don't know, yours, it has a dash here.
And now I'm not getting anything.
Yeah, me either.
Okay, so I'm just going to type in the word residential.
Track RSC1.
Uh-huh.
Just didn't come up with it.
There it is. Trek RSC1 disclosure of relationship.
Oh, so you have to write the word track.
Yeah, that's how they've got it labeled. Okay, so I've added that. Can I borrow your pen? I've already got a couple improvements here.
Relationship with residential. Okay.
You're not getting a kickback. That's what you're telling them. SC1. Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, so now we do need to go back. We've added all the promulgated forms in here. Now we need to add our office forms.
What's that one, what's that number for that one?
It's called if you want to write it out, TREC RSC 1.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So again, on the new agent essentials list, let's see where I put that. Oh, under the buyers, we don't actually have any office forms that you need to put in. We're going to put those in on the seller's template. Okay. Am I right, Maria? Are you thinking of one, of a buyer form?
Oh, prospective, what is that one, prospective purchaser?
Broker notice to a prospective purchaser?
Right, they got to initial all of these things, telling them that what we're not experts in.
Okay, so let's do this. Without, let me see if I have it on my hard drive. We'll see. So let's pretend that we all have that office document on our hard drive. I don't know if I do or not, but if you do, you're simply going to select Add Document. Okay, so I'm going to do Add Document. This will come from the hard drive. I'm going to browse. Okay. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here, Amy. Okay, so now I go to wherever you store these on your hard drive. I have mine under Documents. I'm going to start that over. I'm adding an office disclosure, and I'll give you the name of it when I find it. I go to Documents. I do have a file, a folder called Contract Docs. And this is called a broker notice or buyer notice.
It's a notice to prospective.
It's 2505 is the number.
I don't think.
No, I'm sorry.
It-
It doesn't have a number. No, it doesn't have a
There are
number.
actually two of them, I think.
Broker's notice to prospective purchasers.
That's it, I think.
Let me see what that is. Let's open it.
I think you can do this in an hour, huh?
Okay, so now I'm going to look at it. It's going to be at the bottom.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. So I did have it on my hard drive. If you don't have it on your hard drive, go to Back Agent and look under Documents, Transaction Documents, and I actually give you the address under the seller portion on your new agent essentials list, where to find that. But I'm going to add this one to my list because my list was incomplete. Broker's notice to prospective purchasers. Okay, very good. So we've added that document, and now our broker template is complete. Our buyer template is complete. So I promised you we would go back to the cover sheet, and let's do that now. Go find cover sheet and open it. How many of y'all are using cover sheets now? Okay, half of you. Great. The other half of you, your lives are about to change. So what you do before you start typing in information on an individual transaction, on this template cover sheet, template cover. I'm not saying transaction cover, right? We're in template. You don't know who the buyer is. You don't know who the seller is because this is not for an individual transaction. But you want to come down and put in your information. Now in this case, this is a buyer template, so we are the selling broker. Okay? So you go ahead and put in all your information here under selling broker. There's really nothing else you can fill in on this or that you want to at this time. But what this means is once you fill it out on the template, when you open an individual transaction, all of your brokerage information is going to be auto-populated, and you're not going to have to put it in every time. You did it one time. You've never seen it. Well, you have some special mojo going on. ZipForm would probably love to hear about that. Okay, so everybody with me there? Now we're going to look at how to use cover sheets within a transaction as well, but this right here will keep you from retyping. How many times do I get this question? Frank, what's our broker number? Right? Right? Well, just put it in here, selling office ID, and it's in there from forever. Okay, so let's hit the back button. That's how you build a template. Okay? We're going to go to a transaction next, but I want to make sure.
So we go back to the back button.
Yeah, hit the back button right here. Okay? And now we're back to your document list within the template. So we all know how to build a template now, right? We just built one. I'm going to recommend that you build 4. We just did the buyer, but the seller, the landlord, and the tenant templates need to be built also, and the document lists are here. So you just go through the exact same process and add the forms that are listed. Okay? And as you're doing that, if you discover that I am missing something like we discovered today, please let me know, and I will update this again.
So now this is saved?
Yeah, it auto-saves as you go through.
So then,
It's done.
okay, so then we just go out of it?
Yeah, you hit the back button if you want to go back again, and it's going to take us back to the list of all of our templates, and here they are. Okay? Now I've got a couple tests, so I'm just going to show you. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to delete them. That's how easy it is. Works the same way on a transaction. Okay. Now I'm going to have to go back and add that form to my actual buyer template because I added it to the test. Okay, so are we good with templates?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to do a transaction. So click on the Transactions tab, and I'm going to do the same thing. These are actual transactions, but I'm going to do a new one. So I'm going to click on New. I'm just entering into a relationship with a client. Is it a listing, a purchase? Let's say it's a listing. So I'm going to put in here test listing. Now, listing was selected here. I could have changed it to a purchase or a lease. But now that I have a template built, I need to apply that template. So you come over here, hit the drop-down menu, and which am I going to apply? I'm going to do the listing. Yes?
Before I screw it up, can you change the order that you have these documents in without messing something up?
Oh, on the template itself?
Yeah, on the template itself.
I don't think so.
That's what I was supposed to do.
They add them in the order that you add them. So you could delete everything and start over.
That's why I'm trying not to do.
Yeah, but your first in will be top of the list and your last in will be the bottom. Okay, it doesn't reorder. And you're right, I heard somebody say we should do a buyer since we just built the buyer template. So we're going to go back and do that. So I'm going to start a new transaction. I'm going to call it test buyer. The only thing I don't like about doing that is I had not input my brokerage information on my real buyer template. I don't think I had. So I might have to do that for live. But let's go ahead and go. It's going to be a purchase transaction, and I'm going to apply the buyer's template.
And then in the name, that would be like the person you're working with.
Okay, here's my philosophy, and you can see this. I like to use client name, last name, dash street name. Because with some clients, you're going to have 6 or 7 of these by the time you're done. You're going to have a separate transaction folder on every offer, and you might be making multiple offers. Okay? Or you might have the listing and the sale for that client. So I just find it really easy to do last name dash street name. Okay? With one client, I made 2 offers on homes on the same street, so I had to differentiate a little more, but for the most part, that will work. Okay? All right. We're going
You
to...
do that at the template level.
No.
you're
No.
doing
I'm doing a transaction.
That's a big thing.
That's a transaction. So I'm going to save it. Okay, now it's telling me the following forms in the buyer's template, they will not be applied because they are obsolete, the form is changed or whatever. I don't know why it says that.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that? Yeah, that may be a glitch in mine. So I'm going to scroll down here till I find, where did my test buyer transaction go? It should have been first at the top of the list. Did I not save it? Where did it go?
I think you deleted it, didn't you?
I didn't mean to.
You did.
Welcome to my world.
You didn't say.
It's not there.
Okay, so I'm going to start over. New. Buyer dash test. They live on the street called Test. Okay, I'm going to apply the buyer template. And I'm clicking the Save button. Click OK. Okay, now it's been created. So it just automatically shows me all, and then here we go. So you'll see here, we're in a transaction. This is the buyer test, or the Smith-Elm Street test. And here's all my documents. Now, don't start going into any of your documents yet, except for, where should you go first? Cover sheet. So let's open cover sheet. And now you start putting in your buyer name, because we're representing the buyer. So this is just going to be Bob Smith. Okay, and he's married. There's Sally too. All right, they live on 123 Elm Street. Lots of folks live there. It's very crowded. They live in Springfield, Illinois. There we go. So I'm just filling this out. Here's their number. Okay, they don't have a business phone. Their email is test@gmail.com. There we go. Okay, got all my buyer information. Now, I can put in the seller information, which I will want to do because I'm going to be making an offer. That's going to be the Rodriguez family. So you got all that. Their address is probably going to be the property address. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes you'll have an absentee seller. If that's the case, put in their home address. Wherever they get their information goes here under the seller. Okay? So I'm just going to do this real quick here. They live in Spring, Texas, and they don't have a phone. They do have a seller email address. Okay, then you come in, you put in the property information. There's the MLS number. And the property, let's say, is in Tomball, because everybody wants to move to Tomball. Hi there, come on in, Liz. Okay, in Harris County, Texas, 375, legal description. Lot 12, Block 3 of the Willow Creek neighborhood. Okay. Beyond that, it's really not necessary to fill in all this stuff. I have not found it to be helpful. For some reason, not all these forms feed or auto-populate. So I don't normally typically go beyond that. Okay. You could if you know it. I'm not sure that it pulls over. But let's just say it is. Let's put in here 111111. There's the tax ID. All right. Selling broker information. Okay, if I had my buyer template cover sheet filled out, this would have all my information right here, auto-populated. Yes, Maria.
There's a little button that says you can read or sort, and right beside it, there's one that says organize.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so when I'm done here, you're going to show us that. Okay? See? I'm excited too.
So if you want to reorganize these forms to the least used one.
I've learned 4 or 5 things today. This is why I come to class. It is wonderful. Here you put in the listing broker name, and I am just going to type in this real quick here. I'm not going to do it for real, but I just want to put some information here so you can see it. Okay, don't ever put TWS, spell it out. Okay, right. This is just for class purposes. Spring, Texas. You can put the Woodlands. You don't have to put Spring. Okay. And, okay, so you got the idea.
What's the selling office ID?
47, who knows it?
Oh, that's right.
47 something something.
Oh, 47259.
That's it.
475.
Yeah, there we go. Raul is the human behind our broker's license, but our broker's license is technically not personal. It is corporate. And so it is the Woodlands and Spring Realty who is your broker. The Woodlands and Spring Realty, and then that's associated with Raul's broker's license. Okay?
So, Frank, I have a question. When you put in the broker's name,
Yes.
do you have to add the realty or does it matter? I mean, on the...
Yeah, okay, so when you, that's a great point. The Woodlands and Spring Realty, your broker, has a DBA, a doing business as, RE/MAX, the Woodlands and Spring. And so when it asks for your broker's name, you type in RE/MAX, the Woodlands and Spring. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Okay? Then when it asks you for the associate's supervisor, that's when you put in Raul. Okay?
Do you normally use on Raul's telephone number the office number?
I do.
Okay.
Yes. I don't put his cell in these contracts. No, I would just put the office number. They can find the broker through the main switchboard. Okay? So again, we're representing the purchaser. So let's just say, it's a RE/MAX Vintage who has got the listing, and you put in their information, their listing agent's name. This is going to be Susie. She's Susie, top producer. Okay, all that information. Okay, put it all in, all in. If you have the title company information, you can put it in here. You don't always have that at point of offer. Sometimes we continue to arm wrestle. Okay, so if you like all that,